Hello, sir. Welcome to our show. Can you tell us about all the major announcement that you made today at the event?
Firstly, thank you for coming and thank you for having me here. I'd like to talk about four big announcements that we have made as Google Cloud. The first big one is that we are going to have Gemini Flash 1.5, which is our large language model that is going to be based in India. Right? You can now have your data stored in India and you can do your machine learning processes in India. Okay, what this means for Indian customers across domains, whether it's public sector or it is any other startup or regulated sectors like healthcare, financial services, etc., that if they are looking to use Gemini Flash 1.5, they can do it out of India if that is the use case they need to work on. The second big announcement that we're making is around this whole space of DPI in a box. As we are all aware, India has done an amazing job of building DPI and DPG infrastructure. Now we are partnering with the Step Foundation, where we're saying, can we build a product which is DPI in a box, which allows us to then export this to other economies, other countries who can use this in a plug and play fashion, which allows them to scale very quickly at lower costs. So that's the second big announcement that we're making, and we're super proud about that to help India go global in this space. The third big announcement is about the fact that we are open sourcing this AI based agent framework in collaboration with open source backend protocols. And that's a very complex announcement if you were to hear it like that. But what it means in simplistic terms is the fact that you can now take this open source agent that we have, we put out there, and you can embed it into any network compliant app. Could be Glance, could be Google Pay, could be any other app, right? And then a customer, let's say it's a bank, right? The customer of that bank, if that embed is there in the bank's app, the customer of that bank can actually use that to get information about various open networks or even transact from the same place, right? Now this is going to give a big momentum or a big push up to the open source networks or the open networks. Sorry, I said open source, but open networks, right? And their utilization by the consumers in India, right? And the fourth one is about energy and our drive towards decarbonization and towards clean and sustainable goals for Google in India. We're announcing our partnership with the Adani Group. That's one announcement, and the second is with CleanMax, where collectively we are sourcing 186 megawatts. This is going to be between hybrid, between solar and wind, and this is going to be used for us furthering our goals of reducing, or using carbon-free energy for our offices in India, as well as our data centers in India. So those are four large announcements that we are making today.
So, how do you look at India when it comes to AI race? Where does it stand?
Look, I would abstain from calling it a race. I would call it more in terms of adoption of AI for transformation of businesses. I think that is really what is going, you know, which is going at scale right now, where we are seeing large enterprises, public sector, small companies, SMBs, MSMEs, as well as startups, digital native companies. All of them are now adopting AI mainstream to help them transform their businesses to achieve new goals that they aspire towards as businesses.
So, you think AI is the way forward in India?
Of course, it's already, like I said, it's mainstream. You know, a very large population of companies, enterprises, and again, I spoke about them, whether it's enterprises, whether it's small companies, startups, public sector, a very large population is now using the technology mainstream. A good example is, I spoke a little bit earlier about HDFC Erco, where they're using it for their agents to improve their productivity, and they're also using it for customers to be able to very quickly understand the policy booklet. Think about it, it's a very large policy booklet, right? But how do customers very quickly gain the relevant information from that booklet? By saying, am I covered for prenatal care? What time would it take to clear my bills, etc.? right? Or you look at somebody like Mahindra and Mahindra, who are using AI, our Vertex AI framework, to essentially run simulations in engineering centers. Indigo Airlines, Network 18, Airtel, Geo. We're working with so many customers out there.
So you think India can be the leader in this AI, or you think it is, just a small room, back room? How do you look at this?
I think at our scale, as a population, at our scale, India is well poised to leverage Gen AI and AI as technologies to help deliver and drive us to the next level of growth.